All right. Hello, and welcome to Space Alert Mission 2. Why Mission 2, you might ask? What happened to Mission 1? You really don't want to know. You might also be wondering what I'm doing here in the dark. This is not a set piece for this recording. The power actually just went out right when I was all set up to record this video. And I thought, what the hell? My TV won't turn on, I can't get any internet because the internet box isn't working, so I might as well just record the damn thing anyway. And hopefully it works out. I don't know what's going on the camera right now. I don't know if I'm in the frame at all. I don't know if I'm in focus, because with a flashlight it's sort of difficult, but hopefully it's good enough. Good enough for government work. And that's what we're doing in Space Alert, which is a wonderful game, board game from the Czech designer Vlada Fatil. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I always used to say Vlada Chvátil, but I think the correct pronunciation is Fatil, and it's published by a company called Czech Games Edition, and distributed in the United States by Rio Grande Games. I have the box here somewhere. Let me go get it. All right. Space Alert. The wonderfully evocative cover from Czech Games Edition. Space Alert also has one expansion, The New Frontier, and that's really all you need for this game, and I'll explain why in a minute. But wonderful little game, and what I love so much about Space Alert is that it manages to create humor, to do humor really well, where I think pretty much any other board game that I've played, and certainly most video games that I've played, when they try to do humor, they just fall flat on their face, and they fail both at the humor and at the game. Because inevitably, when a game does humor, it makes the game itself into a joke, the gameplay into a joke. And Space Alert takes a different tack. Space Alert, the way that it creates humor is by creating situations that are so intense and so reliant on perfect, intricate planning and cooperation that you can't help but forget one little thing, and it creates a ripple effect that spirals completely out of control. And it's going to be extra exciting in this session because I won't be able to see what I'm doing, really. And I'll be talking to the camera while playing. So I'm going to be playing a solo game of Space Alert. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players. I think it works wonderfully as a solo game, but it's really at its best with 4 or 5. And in the solo game, basically in every game of Space Alert, there will be either 4 or 5 crew members. And let me just highlight the board here. So this is a Sitting Duck class deep space exploration vessel, and this is the crew here, and I'll highlight them in a minute. But basically, the mission of this Sitting Duck class vessel is to warp out into unexplored regions of space, try to determine what's there, and try to survive, essentially, for 10 minutes, because deep space is deep shit, really, and then warp the hell out of there. And if any of the crew members survive, great. They get a handsome bonus. They get to go on the next mission after they've reported their findings. If the crew doesn't survive, if the ship happens to blow up, let's say, or get taken over by saboteurs, or get eaten by a giant space octopus, then the black box is rigged to warp back by itself. It's covered by a highly protective material. Of course, they couldn't afford to coat the entire ship in it, but the black box at least will be safe, so that the next crew can learn from your mistakes. So I'm just going to give a sort of a brief overview of how the game's going to work before I get into the actual mission. Space Alert is played in 10 minutes of real time. What that means is there will be a soundtrack playing, a randomly chosen track from this soundtrack CD. Let me go back to me here. And the soundtrack lasts roughly 10 minutes, and during that 10 minutes you'll hear an alarm going off. And every once in a while the computer voice will pipe in, and I sort of envision this as like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like the sort of like the improbability drive, because somehow the computer knows. As soon as you warp out of hyperspace, or actually while you're in the transit to hyperspace, the computer knows what will happen in the 10 minutes after you warp out of hyperspace. So you're getting fed this information, and you have 10 minutes to prepare. You know, it might tell you, alert, alert, enemy activity detected, zone red. So you'll know that something is coming in on zone red of the ship. You can see that the ship is neatly segmented into red, white, and blue segments. There's something very patriotic about that. And it also makes it very easy to remember in the heat of the moment which way is your left, which way is your right. You don't need to know that. All you need to know is, I'm going toward the red zone. I'm going toward the blue zone. So you will know that something is coming in along this trajectory. Now there's a trajectory for each zone of the ship for external threats, and then there's a trajectory down here for internal threats. And when it says, for example, alert, alert, enemy activity detected, serious threat, zone red, time t plus 4, or whatever, you'll know at t plus 4, it's 4 minutes into the mission, something is going to be coming along this trajectory.